join you as your running mate. I want to tell you about Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is a leader with the skills, the background, and the character that our country needs at this crucial time in its history. Following 4 years of failed leadership, the hopes of our country, which have inspired the world, are growing dim. They need someone to revive them. Governor Romney is the man for this moment.
She looks like a wax baby.
She's pretty
And he and
woman,
I
though.
share one
She's
commitment.
pretty.
Yeah.
We will restore
I know
the
she's sick too,
greatness
but
of
she's
this
like that.
country.
Frozen, like he does. He got frozen up too. Okay.
I want you to meet my family. It's my wife, Jana, our daughter, Liza, and our sons, Charlie and Sam.
It's hard to go like she's 20.
I'm surrounded by the people I love. I love you too. And I've been asked by Governor Romney to serve the country that I love. Janesville, Wisconsin is where I was born and raised, and I never really left it. It's our home now. For the last 14 years, I have proudly represented Wisconsin in Congress. There I have focused on solving the problems that confront our country, turning ideas into action, and action into solutions. I am committed, in heart and mind, to putting that experience to work in a Romney administration. This is a crucial moment in the life of our nation, and it is absolutely vital that we select the right man to lead America back to prosperity and greatness. That man is standing right next to me. His name is Mitt Romney, and he will be the next president of the United States of America. My dad died when I was young. He was a good and decent man. There are a few things he would say that have just always stuck with me. He'd say, "Son, you're either part of the problem or part of the solution." Well, regrettably, President Obama has become part of the problem, and Mitt Romney is the solution. The other thing my dad would always say is that every generation of Americans leaves their children better off. That's the American legacy. Sadly, for the first time in our history, we are on a path which will undo that legacy. That is why we need new leadership to become part of the solution. New leadership to restore prosperity, economic growth, and jobs. It is our duty to save the American dream for our children and theirs. I believe there is no person in America who is better prepared because of his experience, because of the principles he holds, and because of his achievements and excellence in so many different arenas to lead America at this point in our history. Let me say a word about the man Mitt Romney is about to replace. situation. And in his first 2 years, with his party in complete control of Washington, he passed nearly every item on his agenda. But that didn't make things better. In fact, we find ourselves in a nation facing debt, doubt, and despair. This is the worst economic recovery in 70 years. Unemployment has been above 8% for more than 3 years, the longest run since the Great Depression. Families are hurting. We have the largest deficits and the biggest federal government since World War II. Nearly 1 out of 6 Americans are in poverty, the worst rate in a generation. Moms and dads are struggling to make ends meet. Household incomes have dropped more than $4,000 over the past 4 years. Whatever the explanations, whatever the excuses, this is a record of failure. President Obama and too many like him in Washington have refused to make difficult decisions because they are more worried about their next election than they are about the next generation. We might have been able to get away with that before, but not now. We're in a different and dangerous moment. We're running out of time, and we can't afford 4 more years of this. Politicians from both parties have made empty promises, which will soon become broken promises with painful consequences if we fail to act now. I represent a part of America that includes inner cities, rural areas, suburbs, and factory towns. Over the years, I have seen and heard from a lot of families, from a lot of those who are running small businesses, and from people who are in need. But what I've heard lately, that's what troubles me the most. There's something different in their voice, in their words. What I hear from them are diminished dreams, lowered expectations, uncertain futures. I hear some people say that this is just the new normal. Higher unemployment, declining incomes, and crushing debt is not a new normal. It is the result of misguided policies. And next January, our economy will begin a comeback with the Romney plan for a stronger middle class that will lead to more jobs and more take-home pay for working Americans. America's on the wrong track. But Mitt Romney and I will take the right steps in the right time to get us back on the right track. I believe that my record of getting things done in Congress will be very helpful complement to Governor Romney's executive and private sector success outside of Washington. I've worked closely with Republicans as well as Democrats to advance an agenda of economic growth, fiscal discipline, and job creation. I'm proud to stand with a man who understands what it takes to foster job creation in our economy. Someone who knows from experience that if you have a small business, you did build that. Right. At Bain Capital, he launched new businesses, and he turned around failing ones. Companies like Staples, Bright Horizons, Sports Authority, just to name a few. Mitt Romney created jobs, and he showed he knows how a free economy works. the Olympics. He took a failing enterprise and made it the pride of our entire nation. Excellent. As governor of Massachusetts, he worked with Democrats and Republicans to balance budget without increasing taxes, lower unemployment, increase income, and improve people's lives. In all these things, Mitt Romney has shown himself to be a man of achievement, excellence, and integrity. Jan and I tell Liza, Charlie, and Sam that America is a place where if you work hard and play by the rules, you can get ahead. We look at one another's success with pride, not resentment, because we know that as more Americans work hard, take risks, succeed, more people will prosper. Our communities will benefit, and individual lives will be uplifted and improved. America is more than just a place, though. America is an idea. It's the only country founded on an idea. Our rights come from nature and God, not from government. That's right. That's who we are. That's how we built this country. That's who we are. That's what made us great. That's our founding. We promise equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. And this idea was founded on the principles of liberty, freedom, free enterprise, self-determination, and government by consent of the governed. This idea is under assault. So we have a critical decision to make as a nation. We are on an unsustainable path that is robbing America of our freedom and security. It doesn't have to be this way. The commitment Mitt Romney and I make to you is this. We won't duck the tough issues, we will lead. Blame others, we will take responsibility. And we won't replace our founding principles, we will reapply them. That's what we will do. We will honor you, our fellow citizens, by giving you the right and opportunity to make the choice. What kind of country do we want to have? What kind of people do we want to be? We can turn this thing around. We can. We can turn this thing around. Real solutions can be delivered, but it will take leadership and the courage to tell you the truth. Mitt Romney is this kind of leader. I'm excited for what lies ahead. I'm thrilled to be a part of America's comeback team, and together, we will unite America and get this done. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you.
Congressman Paul Ryan of Wisconsin there. A handshake from Mitt Romney. Moments after Mitt Romney appearing on the stage for the first time with his running mate. We saw there a moment ago. We wondered if he would acknowledge it, sort of the elephant in the living room and in kitchens across America when Mitt Romney said, "I introduce to you the next president of the United States, Paul Ryan." He said, "I do make mistakes, but this is not a mistake, choosing Paul Ryan, but he'll be the next vice president of the United States." He corrected himself, but it made us think back to 4 years ago. We remember when President Obama actually introduced Joe Biden as his running mate. He actually made a similar mistake, saying, "I introduced to you the next president." And then he corrected himself, too, saying the next vice president of the United States. So you can see what happens when the adrenaline gets flowing. These are giant announcements for these campaigns. They are very pivotal. You can see right there an embrace from his wife, his children there on stage, and Romney. Of course, the not-so-secret weapon of this Romney campaign. They're there also with one of their sons, two of their grandchildren, Mia and Chloe. We spotted them in the crowd a moment ago with pink ribbons in their hair. Paul Ryan there waving to the audience. You heard him say, "America is the idea. That's who we are." A resounding applause. He says, "We promise equal opportunity."
Look at those girls. They're absolutely adorable. The girls are so sweet.
Powerhouse political team, beginning with John Paul right there in Norfolk, Virginia. John, is this a game changer?
It sure is. This race has changed. This race is now about the big idea of what will be done to deal with the country's fiscal crisis and whether Paul Ryan's vision, a very controversial vision, which would fundamentally change in many ways the relationship of the United States government to its citizens, whether or not that vision is the way to go or whether or not another direction. This race now in many ways becomes a race about ideas, potentially a much bigger race. It's a gamble for Mitt Romney. Who knows if it pays off or he gets